Today we're going to create an e-commerce website design in Adobe XD. We're only going to focus on the front page, but I will also show you the wireframe, the plan, the branding, and at the end of the video I will show you how I created the logo as well. If you're interested at developing this website, this is what we'll be doing in the next video using WordPress and WooCommerce. Before we begin, if you find the video useful, please consider subscribing, hit the bell notification button, smash the like button, and if you have any comments or suggestions, please comment below. And now let's jump on the computer and get started. Hey, welcome everybody, and let's get started. In front of me I have my home wireframe, which is a desktop version, and on the left side here I have a little bit of branding, guidelines and a plan. Now let's have a look at some of the branding styles, and as you can see I've kept this very minimal. I have 4 colors, and in fact we're mainly going to be using those 3 colors. This is going to be our primary color, this is going to be our secondary color, mainly for our typography, and this will be used for things like separators, and last, this is going to be used for the sale, promotion, offers and so on. Here on the left side I have a heading 1, which is Nunito 38 and bold, and underneath I have the body text, which is Poppins 16 and set to regular. Of course, it's nice to have a few different headings like heading 2, heading 3, heading 4, but in this design I'm probably going to end up just using one, and later on I might just finish this off and create the rest. And the other thing that I wanted to mention is that if you go to a library here on the left side, you will see that I've already added the colors, so I can easily reach them and use them throughout the design. And I've also added the characters, and to do this usually you just select the colors and you press the plus sign here, and it's not available because I've already added the colors, and it's the same for the fonts. You can just select them and press the plus and it will add them in here automatically, which means that if I ever change my mind later on, and let's say I wanted to make the heading a little bit bigger and I change the global style from here, it will change on the whole layout, which is pretty useful. Now let me quickly walk you through the plan. Now the plan is fairly simple. We want this website to have an engaging website design. I'm going to show you how we can do that. We want to have a great about us page, ideally with contact details, address and social media. In this tutorial we're probably going to skip this because we're just going to focus on the homepage, but it's definitely beneficial to have a strong about us page. That's why I added it in here. And then we want to have offers, excellent online support, which I'll show you how we can achieve as well. We can have popular payment options, blog for SEO is great to have, product reviews, SEO friendly. Our website needs to be SEO friendly, so we need to think about this as well. It might be nice to offer free shipping just to compete with bigger websites. We also need a way of grabbing emails. We need high resolution photos. We need some offer incentives, encouraging social sharing. And we obviously need some legal stuff like refund policy, copyright and so on. I usually like to create a design and then iterate until I come up with something that looks fairly good. Okay, now this is the plan, and let's have a look at the wireframe now. The wireframe is fairly simple. You can either do the wireframe in here in Adobe XD just like I have, or you can do your wireframe on a piece of paper like many people prefer. The reason I'm using Adobe XD is because if I change my mind I can always drag stuff around and just modify my layout the way I want it. So that's why I prefer Adobe XD, and once I have an idea of what I want to design, it's usually nice to have the content that is going to be used for the real website instead of using lorem ipsum. So definitely do that if you can. So let me quickly walk you through the wireframe and then we can start designing. In order to create engaging website design, I decided to have a big hero image, and also maybe this could be a slider. On the left side, we're gonna have the heading, a little bit of description, and a shop now button. On the right side, we're gonna have an image. We can also have one of them pop-up chats, which are quite useful for customer support, and this is how we can offer great, excellent online support. And also, as you can see at the top, we have easy way of getting in touch with the company, so phone number, email address. And here on the right side, we have some offer incentives, such as free EU shipping, 30 days money back guarantee, 24/7 customer support. And below this, we have a logo, we have a search bar, and we have the cart. This is all good. After this, we have our menu. I've already added some of the menu items that I want. All products, food, accessories, toys, care, and special offers. Let's scroll down and have a look at the rest of the stuff. This is going to be a section that we want to push the popular products. We're gonna have a little bit of a description in here, and then we're gonna have a product image, description of the product, price, and add to cart button. After this, we have categories, and I wanted to break the layout a little bit. Inside here, we're gonna have, again, description, and then we're gonna have a few different categories such as toys, food, care, accessories, and sale. Of course, we can always move this around later on and see what we can come up with. Special offers is going to be exactly the same as popular products. We're just gonna put the special products and a little bit of description, products, just like above. Now let's move on to the next section, and this will be the footer. In the footer, we're gonna keep it quite minimal. We're gonna have about section, company section, and keep in touch. In the about section, I've just added a few things as a demo. We're probably not gonna develop absolutely every single page because that would take far too long, but ideally you would want to have shipping, deliveries, return exchanges, affiliates if you do, that brand as ambassadors, or story, FAQ, terms of service, refund policy, and under the company we can have about us, privacy policy, terms and conditions, contact us, and inside here is ways of grabbing emails and also encouraging people to share the website on social media. So we're gonna have a few different icons for Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and so on. And then at the end, we want the copyright and we want some payment methods that people can use. Now this is the plan. I'm going to leave this and I'm just going to double click on the artboard, and now we can duplicate it and we can start designing. I'm going to move this artboard around here just so I have it. Alright. Okay, let's start from top to bottom and we'll work our way down. But before we do this, it's nice to have some sort of a grid for this, just so we know how big our website is going to be. And I'm actually going to base this nearly on Bootstrap. So what I'm going to do is double click on the artboard and then show the grid. The grid that I'm going to be using is a little bit different than the standard one that Adobe XD shows you. And also I forgot to say that this artboard is 920 and the height is just random at the moment, but it's fairly big. It's 4296 at the moment, but we can always adjust the height later on. For the grid, I'm using 12 columns. The girder width is set to 16, column width is set to 93, and the left and right margins are set to 314 pixels. Now I've actually made the columns color a little bit lighter than it is originally, but I'm also going to be removing this from time to time because sometimes it just gets in the way. And what I can do is let's grab some lines from here, so let's do that. Okay, let's zoom in, make sure that the line is snaps right where our grid starts, and let's create one more. So if we create one more around here, I think this one is looking good already. Nope. Alright, I think this one is looking good now, and we can remove the grid just so it doesn't get in the way. Alright, let's start designing from top to bottom. First of all, what I want to do, instead of changing the typography, the color on every single element here, I'm going to create one, and I'm going to create a component. So let me drag the phone number above here and let's start working on it. first of all, if we open the library, I want to choose the primary color, which is this purpley color, and I want to change the font size to be roughly around 14, a little bit smaller than the body text. The body text is going to be around 16, and then I want to add an icon in front of it to make it look a little bit nicer and more interesting. I'm thinking of just adding a circle. So what I can do is, let's use the ellipse tool by pressing T on your keyboard, and by holding shift and pressing with the mouse button I can just create a new one. So let's do something like 31 pixels by 31 pixels, and then I want this to be the primary color, and let's remove the border. This is looking good. Maybe we can space it out a little bit like so, and also I want the opacity to go down to 20. I think this is gonna look good. And now let's find an icon for this. So we need a phone icon, and to do this you can use the plugins in Adobe XD, and as of recently I found this one here, auto icon, but I also like to use the icon for design plugin, which is pretty good. So let's use this one here, and the reason I'm using this one is because they actually have the most popular icons. So I'm going to use the bootstrap one. So let's click on bootstrap and let's find the phone. So phone, let's drag one in here, and let's make it smaller like so. I think this is actually looking good, and the only thing that I want to do is change the phone color to be the primary color. I don't know if this needs to be smaller, but that's looking good to me. Now that I'm happy with this, I can actually select everything and create a component by clicking the plus sign here, and as you can see, this has created a component. Now I can drag the component anywhere on the page, and every time I make a change, so let's say we want to make the font a little bit bigger, you will see that it changes everywhere, which is fairly useful if we ever need to change something. This is good. Let's do the rest of the stuff. So we're gonna need the email, so let's grab the email and just replace it like so. Let's copy this and paste, and let's do free shipping, paste. Let's copy and paste. Let's copy, paste. Let's copy, paste, and do the next one, which is 30 days money back guarantee. And I think we have one more, which is 24/7 customer service. Alright, now that we have our icons, we could select all of them and just make sure that we align them a little bit better like so. And the reason I've stacked them like this is because I want to add the rest of the icons. So let's start by getting all the icons that we need, and then we're going to replace those ones. If you go to plugins, let's search for envelope. This one is looking good. I'm going to be using the outline icons, so they're all consistent. Then we can do truck. We also want some sort of time for the 30 days money back guarantee. Maybe clock. Alright, this will do. And then for the last one, we want a customer service, so maybe some sort of like a user or a person. Alright, I quite like this one, so let's start by replacing them. Now, one mistake that I used to do is I used to make every single icon the same width and height. If you do this, especially with those icons, they will look out of proportion. Let me show you what I mean. So if I was to select those two, and if I was to make them exactly the same size, you will see, let me do that. You will see that the envelope is looking so much bigger than the truck, and if I was to do maybe the circle, I mean the circle is not so bad, but the truck is definitely out of proportion. I'll probably have to do the truck something like this, and that'll look a lot better. So definitely don't set the same width and height for all icons. Saying this, let's start with the envelope. So I'm gonna cut the envelope, go inside here, paste it, and move it inside, and let's just base it around the phone. So something like this would do, as long as it's like in the middle. Sometimes you might need to mess around with the pixels so they kind of like, it snaps better in the middle, but let's save some time and keep on going. So yeah, this definitely doesn't look in the middle to me. This looks a little bit better now. And then for the free shipping, let's grab the truck, make it a little bit smaller, maybe even smaller. I think this will look good, so let's go in, remove this one, save the truck, and we're good. I don't know if this needs to be aligned slightly to the left, maybe. Okay, 30 days money back guarantee, let's do the same. Can you see how this is like so much more to the left? And I think this is because we probably just need to make it slightly bigger. Okay, yeah, this is looking good now. Alright, and then the last one is going to be the 24/7. So let's grab that and make it much smaller. Like so. I think this is gonna look good. Let's remove this, save our little person, and this is nice. Okay, this is pretty cool. Now that we have them done, what we can do is, they will group by the way, but what we can do is start placing them around. Let's remove these ones. So we have free shipping around here, we have 30 days guarantee around here. Definitely don't want to lose this one. Then we have the customer service, so let's remove it and do that. Alright, obviously they're not aligned at the moment, but what we can do is, let's grab both of the icons on the left side here. We can align them to the left if we want. With Bootstrap there might be a little bit of padding, we'll see how it goes. Let's grab both of those items, the phone number and the email. Let's make sure that they're aligned to the top like so, and let's group them. To group them, you can press Ctrl and G or Command and G on your keyboard, and then we can use this stack option in here. That would basically give us the option to space the elements around, and also that would give us the option to vertically stack them if you wanted to do the mobile version as well. So I'm going to leave them stacked, and I don't know why this is going that way. Strange, but yeah. I'm going to leave them stacked like so, and then at some point we might have to change the spacing. Actually, that's not looking too bad. Alright, this is all good. Let's do the same for those three icons. So what I'm going to do, grab all of them, align all of them, Ctrl and G to group, and then stack them. The stack will be 30 pixels in between, and then we can move them to the left. This is looking fairly good. Now what I'm thinking of doing is, we probably need to have this section a little bit smaller than it is. So I'm going to go with something like 50 pixels. So let's do 50 pixels like this, and you can keep this background if you wish to align stuff. But what I'm going to do for now is, I'm just going to use this line here that we've created. In fact, let's create a new line. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to use this guide here, and I'm going to create another line using the line tool, and then let's just change the line color to the color gray from here. So if we get the color picker like so. Okay, we can now remove this box, and that box would have been actually useful to center stuff. So what we can do is, we could keep this box, just have it as white, put it all the way through if you wish, and just with control and left bracket, just send it to the back, and we could potentially just use this now to center align stuff in the middle like so. Alright, I'm pretty happy with this. We can also group this section like so, and now we can move around if we need to. One thing that I'm noticing is that there might be a little bit too much space between the items, but it's okay, we can always iterate, which is part of the plan, as you can see. In the next section we have the logo, the search bar and our card. Alright, let's now add the logo, and I'm gonna grab it from here, copy and paste. And if you wish to know how I made the logo, I will show you at the end of the video. It will be timestamped, so you can quickly skip to that part if you wish. So I'm gonna make this a little bit smaller like so, and center align it, and that would do the job. Now let's create another rectangle just so we can measure how big our heading is. And at the moment I'm thinking of setting the heading to be roughly around 80 pixels in height. So the logo might be a little bit too big, we'll see. Let's have a look. Yeah, let's make the logo a little bit smaller like so. We can always adjust it later on, and then we can move this line here to the top like so, and we need to change the color as well. So let's select this one here. Actually, we can't select it, we need to grab the color picker. Alright, that's looking cool. Of course we're gonna have to move the search, and we're gonna have to move the items. I think this is gonna be cool. Not sure whether the logo needs to be a little bit smaller, but let's leave it for now. So I'm going to actually drag this square as well, and the reason is just so we can have it as a section and we can center stuff with this square, but definitely don't need it. In fact, but yeah, you definitely don't need it. So let's move it to the back. I'm sending it to the back with Control and the left bracket, and we can definitely group this in a minute. But before we do this, let's finish the search. And for the search bar, I'm gonna keep it fairly simple. The search bar, I want it to be roughly around, even this would do I think 47. And now let's make the corners round by clicking on the box and then selecting those circles in here, and you can just drag them and that would make the search box round. And also I want to make this a little bit smaller than it is now, maybe around 500 pixels. I think 570 looks good to me. And also I want to change the border, so let's select the box again and let's color pick this color from here, the gray color, and that's looking good. And also let's change the typography, so I'm gonna click on the typography, choose the Poppins font, and I want to make sure that this is not so prominent. I want, when we start typing, the text will be that kind of color, but just so it's not too destructive, I want to make sure that this is, maybe we can use the same color as here. I don't know, this is too much, maybe a little bit darker. Something like this would do. And also I'm going to make this a little bit smaller, I think like 14, and make sure that everything is just middle aligned like so. And let's just say search the store. Okay, our search is now done. We definitely need to group this. One more thing that we can do to the search, we can either add an icon here or we can leave it empty. I do like the minimalist design without the icon, so I'm tempted to just leave it, to be honest. But yeah, normally you'd have an icon which you can click here, but most people just type and press enter. So yeah, let's leave it as it is. So I'm gonna select this search box and select the text by holding shift and then Ctrl and G to group them, and we might as well make a component of this just in case we want to reuse it later. And by the way, I don't know what to name this, but let's say we can do this could be named as offer incentives, and this could be named as search like so. Let's close this, and now that we've grouped the search bar, we can actually select the search bar, select the box below it, and we can center align it and center align it just in case it's not. And now looking at the logo, I mean the text could potentially go down a little bit. I don't know. Yeah, I think this is looking a little bit better. Anyways, let's continue and let's do the card now. For the card, let's open the library again. Let's choose Poppins 16, and this is already looking nice to me actually. I'm gonna move this to the side and let's just add a nice icon. Let's go back to the plugins, and then the icon can be card. So let's have a look at which card we can use. Oh, okay, this one is the one I like, so let's throw the bag in. Okay, this is the one I like actually. This is the one I was looking for. It's actually bag, it's not a card or basket. So let's make this a little bit smaller, get the color from the color palette in here, and let's just move it to the side. Yeah, this looks already so much better. And I'm not sure whether they need a little bit of space potentially, but these are the things that we can always iterate on and change. So what I'm gonna do is select both items, make sure that they're center aligned, Ctrl G to group them, and I'm gonna, by holding shift, I'm gonna press the background shape here and make sure that they're middle aligned as well. And we're pretty much done with those two sections now. Let's focus on the menu. For the menu, I'm thinking of using the primary color. So what I'm gonna do is with the rectangle tool, on your keyboard, let's drag a rectangle that goes full screen like so. Maybe I could have zoomed in a little bit. And now what I'm thinking is let's make it around 50 pixels, and let's select the primary color, which is the purple color. And then of course we need to remove the border, don't forget to do that, and we should be okay. I don't think that there is a line here, is there? Oh yeah, there is. So there is a line here which I don't actually want. Let's remove this line and let's put that to the top. Alright, this is looking good. Now what I'm gonna do is focus on the items here. What I can do, potentially we could just grab all of the items, select the color that we want. I don't know if we need to put them at the top by doing Control and right bracket, or shift or Control Shift and right bracket. But this color doesn't have much contrast in my opinion, so I'm gonna go with clear white, and this is looking a little bit better. But also I want to change the font to Poppins, so let's do that. And maybe we can set it to be Poppins 16 and then potentially medium. And also we might as well, to make it a little bit more readable, we might as well just make the text uppercase by clicking the button here, and that's looking better. Obviously they're not equally spaced now, and you could use the spacing options in here to horizontally align them, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to group them first of all, and I'm going to use the stack trick that we did before. So let's click on stack, and that would basically allow us to just easily move them. So if I put 20 pixels, so I can grab this now and just easily move the icons as much as I want. And I'm thinking of giving it space around 60 pixels maybe. Let's have a look. Yeah, that looks quite clean to me. So let's grab this, grab the menu solid shape at the bottom and center line. Alright, this is pretty cool. We can definitely group this as well. So let's select everything, Ctrl G. Alright, let me show you something cool quickly. And I think I moved the logo actually, so let's move it like that. That's looking better. And what I want to show you is how you can check for contrast. So for example, if I was to grab this all product, and let's just leave it here on the side for now. And if I was to grab this and select the layer below, and if you go to plugins, I have this plugin called Stack. So if you click on the plugin, and then you can check the contrast. So as you can see, at the moment the contrast is good, the text is readable, everything is good. But if I was to change this text to something darker, let's go click on the purple and let's make it like, I don't know, something like this. I think that would do it. So now if we select the text and the shape below, and if you go back to stack, check contrast, you will see that the colors didn't pass because there is no contrast and it's hard to read. So it's a pretty cool plugin to know about. So let me remove this and we can continue. The menu is now looking good. Let's make sure that it's all grouped. I think it is already. No? Okay, the menu is now grouped, which is pretty cool. And this line is not required. So let's remove it. And we can now focus on our hero image or our slider. Alright, first of all, so let's remove some of the stuff. I mean, I already know what I'm gonna have, and let's just have a little bit of space at the top. I think this is roughly around, what, 30 pixels maybe? Alright, yeah, that's 27 pixels. Maybe we can have it more like that, and so on. And let's focus on the actual hero image. So I'm going to shrink this down to fit our guides. Now first of all, let's start by changing the actual color of the shape. So if we go back to colors, do that, and of course we'll have to change this setting to Nunito. But for this one, I'm going to go with like maybe extra bold and change the color to white. And I definitely want this text to be a little bit bigger than the normal headings. Maybe like 48 will do. And we can definitely, for this text here, we can definitely use the Nunito 16 pixels and just make this as white. And then for the button, maybe we can just drag a shape with the rectangle tool and maybe make it 176 by 36, something like this. And let's add the shop now on top of it. Of course, we need to change the shop now to be Nunito 16 pixels, like so. Let's remove the border and we can add shadows as well. Actually, saying this, maybe we just take it off. And I'm thinking of keeping the actual buttons sharp for this one, but then for the actual hero image, I'm thinking of giving it a little bit of a border, maybe like 20 pixels like so, and of course remove the border color as always. So this is already looking good. The only thing I would do is maybe just group those things and maybe just like mess around with the spacing a little bit. I mean, that's already looking okay to me. We can definitely fix it later. And maybe instead of having the secondary color for the button, let's go for the primary. I think this might work. Okay, so let's leave this for now. Let's group all of them like so and save. By the way, that looks, no, it's okay. It looked like it's 1 pixel outside, but it's looking okay, I think. Let's now focus on making this a little bit more interesting. Now, first of all, let's find an appropriate image for this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to unsplash.com and I'm going to go for dog toy. And then let's find one that would suit our style. So I think this one looks quite nice. So I'm going to click on this. And this photo is by the linker. And I will definitely include the link in the description and my blog post. So let's download this, save it. And I'm actually going to put this into my working folder. I'm going to create another folder called photos. And paste it in here. So we're just a little bit more organized. Quickly go back to Adobe XD. And if we copy this layer here, Control and C, Control and V, to copy it, maybe we can change the color just so you can see. I'm thinking of dropping the image in here. So it's kind of masked already. So let's grab the dog and drop it inside here. And as you can see, this is already looking good, but ideally I'd like to see a lot more from the dog. So I'm gonna go inside and shrink it quite a lot, maybe halfway through. And this is already looking good to me. Maybe we can show a little bit more from the toy, and that's pretty cool. So let's leave this. And as you can see, this is already looking good. but we can take it further and make it even more interesting. And what I'm thinking of doing is, if we use the ellipse tool here on your keyboard, and if we drag a big circle, I'm thinking of using this circle kind of like as a mask in here to create a nice effect. So that's looking cool. Definitely remove the border, and we're definitely gonna have to copy the shape below. So let's move it. Right, that's cool. Paste the shape, and we might have to mask it. Right click, mask with shape. All right, now that we've masked the circle, to be fair, now that we've masked the circle, we could go inside and just change the circle color. So what I was thinking of doing is, I was going to go for a linear gradient, and we could choose the purple here, and then we can maybe choose, I don't know, a lighter purple. Let's just choose the same purple, and then let's go lighter. And this is looking cool, and maybe we can change the gradient so it goes from like the top left corner to the bottom right corner, like so, and release. Right, this is already looking good, but I feel like this is taking far too much of the image. So what I'm going to do is, I'm actually thinking of moving this a little more until the image is started to kind of like show, but I might have to just make the image of the dog a little bigger. I think this would be pretty cool. Alright, this is looking cool. So if you double click on the dog, we just make that a little bit bigger, just so it fits. Okay, I think this will do the job. Let's have a look. Yep, that's pretty cool. And now if we click on this top layer here, we can do Control and left bracket to send it back. And this is because I wanted to show the text, but now this one is to the top, so we're gonna have to send this one back as well. And also, I believe that we might as well remove the bottom one. So I'm gonna send everything to the back and just remove this bottom shape, or we can keep this shape for later use if we wish to mask something out. So I'm gonna leave this, so we don't get the outlines and so on. So this is looking pretty cool so far. Maybe I wish this was a little bit smaller, so we could select everything here and just make it ever so slightly smaller, like so. Right, the next thing I would love to do is, I would definitely love to like, first of all, that would be nice to be sent. It would be nice to center this, and I would love to create some sort of a pattern with the dogs. So what I could do is, in Illustrator, I could create more dogs like this, and then maybe create a nice pattern with different dogs in here. But just to show you what I mean, I can get the dogs from the logo and just change the color to something super light. Maybe, I wonder, actually yeah, let's go something super light, and then let's turn the opacity down like so. And I'm gonna use the repeater grid tool for now, just to like show you what I mean. Obviously this needs to be masked as well, so I'm gonna have to do that. Okay, let's do this and then we'll mask it later. So I'm gonna have to do it like that and go down. I don't know, this is looking pretty cool. I know it's not the best, but definitely spend a little bit more time on the marketing materials. But yeah, that's looking really nice, but ideally we're gonna have to mask this as well. So what I could have done is, I could have taken this shape from here and just, let's grab this shape, and I could have cut it. So it's a little bit annoying, but let's grab this shape back. So let's copy, paste, let's bring it back. And what I'm going to do is, okay, if we select the circle and the shape at the bottom here, we can actually intersect this, and this will give us the shape that we need for the pattern. Okay, now that we have this shape, we can actually save it somewhere around here, just in case we need it later on. Let's copy the shape and paste it into Illustrator. And actually I need the logo as well, so let's grab the logo, go to Illustrator and paste it. And what I'm going to try to achieve here is, I want to achieve a super quick like pattern. So what I'm going to do is change the color of the dogs. Let me group them to something very light, like so. Maybe change the opacity down quite a bit. I don't know, something that looks good. And then in Illustrator we can do object and then pattern and then make. This way we can make patterns. I mean, they're a little bit hard to see because of the color now actually, but if I click done and if I click on this shape here, I can definitely go to, where is it? I think it's what, isn't it switches? New pattern, here it is. So if I click on new pattern, this will actually apply, but of course the this pattern is so close together, so I'm gonna have to change a little bit. What I can do is make the dogs a little bit smaller like so, or I can just mess around with the settings in here. Okay, I think this is gonna look okay, so let's leave it as this. And now I can technically cut this and paste it into Adobe XD, and if this works, copy, oh, paste, here it is. If this works, we can have the pattern. I mean, to be completely honest, is not what I was looking for, maybe a little bit bigger, so we can edit the pattern again. And make them a little bit bigger, and then we can change the grid to bricks. No, I don't want that. This is looking cool. Let's see. I don't know, I think that the dogs are far too small. But I need to offset them a little bit more. Okay, this is gonna be better, so let's do this. Yeah, this is looking a little bit better. I mean, again, it's annoying how it's ending here, so let's change that. One more time, super quickly. We're probably never gonna win now. Alright, this will do for now. Let's copy and paste it, and I will finish this later. But that's how I would do a pattern, maybe make it a little bit more interesting and have it somewhere in here. Like so. In fact, this is looking pretty decent, I think, and it's fitting the exact same shape. And maybe the text is kind of hard to read now, so I would probably go down quite a lot on this, even further, maybe like this. Alright, this is looking cool. We have a nice interesting header, and maybe the last two things I would add is potentially you could spend a little bit more time on this. Maybe create like a big circle in here saying like up to 20% off. So let's do that super quickly. I'm going to use the red color. Oops. This red color is definitely not good. Right, I found a better color. So let's use CB0F48 and let's remove the border. And now inside here, we can copy some text. So we can say something like up to, and then let's move that inside here. We can copy paste. This will be 20%. And then we need one more. And this will be off. So now we want to style this a little bit. We're going to use pop-ins, pop-ins and pop-ins. And I'm thinking of definitely make all of them white. Make them a little bit bigger and bolder. So maybe up to needs to be medium, or semi-bold looks good actually. 20% needs to be, semi-bold looks okay. And if we go a little bit bigger, this is already looking good. Just need to have semi-bold on this one as well. And I think this is okay. maybe we can have this one 22 and this one 22 as well, just so they match. And what I'm going to do is just make sure that they're spaced equally, like so. And this will do. I don't know if it needs a little bit of a drop shadow, but that's fine. Let's just grab everything and Ctrl and G to group them. And the last thing I'm going to do in this is create either dots or something that can show us that this is a slider. So what I will do is I'm going to do 3 lines like this. So this is going to be, well, I'm not going to measure them now, but basically you can use dots or whatever. So I don't know, 30 pixels and then something like that. And then make sure you group them and center align them like so. So this could work. I think this looks a little bit bigger now thinking about it, but yeah. Okay, let's change this a little bit to 29 to 3. And let's just add 2 more. Width 22 pixels or spacing maybe. And let's grab all of them. Ctrl and G. And let's just center align them for now. And of course we could have arrows as well for the slider if you want it to be a slider, or if it's just going to be one image, that's absolutely fine as well. This might need to go up a little bit as well. It's been annoying me for a while. Alright, this is looking cool. And the next bit that we can do is this chat button. This is basically going to be one of them live chats. So what I can do is grab this. I don't know how big the circle needs to be here, but as long as it's fairly big to tap on a tablet, that should be fine. And let's choose purple. Inside here, I'm gonna do a shadow, remove the border, and then inside here, let's add a nice icon. So if you go back to auto icon, start this and do chat. Maybe we can grab this one here, change it to white. You can't see it now, but it's around here. Change it to white, put it at the top, and grab everything, Ctrl and G to group. And then we just need to make sure that this is here on the right bottom corner, and this is because this is where the default happens. So this is full screen usually. So if I play this, sorry, if I start this, you'll see that this is on the right side, and this is, and I also want to make sure that this button stays there as we scroll. So to do this, let's go back and do fixed position when scrolling. I just want to move this a little bit. So let's move it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Something like this. So now if I start, you'll see that it looks nice. And if I scroll down, the button stays there as well, which is pretty cool. And we can continue with the rest. The next section that we have is popular products. Hopefully this will be a quick one. What I'm going to do now is, first of all, we need to figure out the space that we want between our hero image and the popular products. I think, generally speaking, I think this is looking fairly clean already. So that's roughly height of 90. Definitely could up it up a little bit. And I think that might work. All right. As long as we stay consistent with this now, I think we should be okay. But yeah, we can always change it later. So first of all, let's go back to the library, select the title and select or from all characters, style select or title, which is Nunito 38 pixels and this blue color here. So that's all cool. We want to make sure that this is center line, of course, and we want to add our description. For the description, this will be center aligned, and then we're gonna go with the poppins, 16 pixels. I know it looks fairly small now, but it should be nice to read. Okay, this is actually looking good. And let's grab both of them and just make sure that they're center aligned. I think they are. So that's pretty. We're actually done with the heading. I wonder whether this is going to get in a way. Probably not. It's probably going to be okay. And now what I'm going to do is let's start creating some of the product. Okay, so now we need to do the products, and what I'm going to do here is actually, before we do anything, we could do this as a component because we're going to be using it multiple times. So let's grab this, create a component and leave it. Now let's focus on the actual products. We're going to have an image, and what I can do for this is let's double click on our artboard and trigger the grid so it shows, and we have 12 columns. We could potentially have 4 products on each line. We could have it as a perfect square, or we could have it slightly larger like that. We'll have a look later anyways. And of course we're gonna need the title, so let's write some text. And in fact we've already got, okay, let's grab a title for this, paste it, and I'm going to change the title to be the Nunito 16 pixels. Maybe we can change the color in a second, and let's get the pricing that would be there, and the button I'll create in a second. So this will be our product. I might make the title a little bit bolder, so let's do something like medium maybe, or even semi-bold. I think that would look even better. Then for the pricing, let's select the Nunito 16 again, and I'm actually thinking of changing this to the primary color and this to the primary color as well. And what I can do here is we could potentially have like a sale price and current price, so like something like this. This could go, it was £14.99 and now is $7.99, and this could be, we can cross this by clicking on the text and then selecting the strike through, and then let's just change the opacity down to something that you can still see, but okay, that's looking cool. I don't know, maybe a little bit more. And I wonder whether to make these a little bit bolder. I'm not so sure. They look good so far, and we can definitely put them together with the title like so. And I want to have a big button under every single item, so we could grab the button from here. Oh, I think we need to move this down. Let's grab the button, paste it in here, and let's just change it slightly. So for the button, I'm gonna go with the primary color. The text color will be white. The text color will be white, and I want this to be full width like so, so it takes the full width of the actual product, and that might be okay. So let's drag some products. So I actually found a couple of products on AliExpress that we can potentially sell. So let's create a products folder, and I'm gonna copy everything I found and paste it in here. So let's grab this one here. It's like some sort of a plush toy, and let's drag it in here. And also this image has a border that I just noticed, so let's remove this. And we might want to have the consistent rounded corners, so we might as well just do 20 and see how it looks. This is quite nice and clean. Quite like it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove all these, and I'm going to trigger the grid back on. I'm going to grab this and do a repeat grid. So now we can drag and see whether we can fit them. Okay, I think we need to go down a little bit. Maybe like so. Is this one? It's pretty hard to see now they've turned the colors down, but that's looking good and they all fit. Okay, that's pretty cool, and potentially when we develop the website we could have it as a slider as well. We could even have it like full width like so if you wish. So I'm gonna have to go like that. We could do this, I'm not too sure. I'm gonna stick to this one here and decide later. Now one thing that I don't like is the spacing between The button, I think that needs to be moved down quite a lot, maybe like so. And now we're gonna have to extend everything. Yep. Alright, this is looking good. Maybe this button seems a little bit smaller. Maybe like give it a few pixels more and just make sure that everything is aligned. Alright, this is looking a little bit better now. It's a clean design. Let's remove the grid. To be honest, one thing that I'd probably like to do is change the grid a little bit and have a little bit more space between them, but to save a little bit of time, I'm gonna go ahead and leave it. So for the categories, let's quickly grab the rectangle tool, have a look at how much space this is, and we can use this to make the next section potentially. Actually, that needs to be moved up. I'm gonna move that up a little bit like so, and then we can start doing the categories. So for the categories, let's check our headings component. And the text is exactly the same, we just need to change it to categories. And I've actually forgot to center line this, so let's edit the main component. Let's right click, edit main component. And what I'm going to do is convert this to fixed size. I'm going to pull it up a little bit like so. And like so, and then I'm going to center align the text, and now this will help me out a little bit. So let's remove this, add a new one, and do categories. Usually I would align the fonts like so on the top. Alright, this is actually wrong. What I'm going to do is remove this, and this will be where the section actually ends. So I'm going to use this guide and create another rectangle for the next section. And then we can give this rectangle some sort of like a very light white color. So let's go for something like even something bluish maybe. I don't know, something like this. F9, 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 F9. Go back. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to reuse this square again just to realign my title here. And we could use the box as well. It's not a biggie. Okay, I've aligned this one. Let's realign a little bit. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. And we need to send this to the back. Alright, now this container is definitely going to be annoying. So if we select it, go to layers, and just lock this layer, then we won't be able to select it, so we can move stuff around, which is pretty good. And we definitely need to figure out spacing between the sections, but this is looking good to me, so I'm gonna use this one here. So I'm gonna go from, actually let's go from the box because it's exactly the same. And let's scroll down. Okay, so this is where everything is going to start like so. And maybe we can create another box just so we know where the thing will end. But I haven't done the boxes yet, so let's leave this one for now. And let's move the special office down with everything else. Okay, let's now focus on the categories. For the categories, so let's double click on our canvas, and then let's create 3 boxes. So let's remove those ones for now. And so that would be 4. That's fine. I definitely don't like the space between, but I might have to change this later on just because I don't wanna like have to go back and change everything. In terms of size, this is looking good actually. I like it. So what I can do is I'm gonna do the around the corners, double click, do 20, remove the border, and let's add an image of a product. So I'm gonna add the same product here, and to make the actual text a little bit more readable, I'm going to use the Nonito font now. So let's click on Nonito 38 and then let's just change it like so. And for the title, let's go to the library, double click on the text, go back to the library and press the Nonito 38. I think that would be nice, and let's just change the color to white. As you can see, the contrast might not be very good with every image, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a little bar in here with the primary color. So let's grab this box here. Now let's grab a rectangle and do one at the bottom here, and let's just change this to the primary color, remove the border, and then let's do the different radiuses for each corner. And I'm going to select the bottom one, do 20, and then the other bottom one, the left bottom one, to 20, and we can now put the opacity to something like 80 or something that's readable, makes it readable, and then just put this at the back. I think this is grouped, so let's ungroup it quickly and go back. Okay, too much, and that's fine. So we can definitely put the title in here, and I would say let's make it a lot smaller, maybe like so we can potentially fit bigger text as well. That's something that you might want to think about. Okay, now that we're done with this one, we can replicate it. So let's do repeat grid, and that was almost there. So we definitely need to change this. I wish I didn't do this grid, it's not as nice. But that's fine. I think when we develop the website, it will look nice. Cool, that's looking cool. Then let's change this to food by clicking food, and let's change this to whatever this was, scare. I should have made sure that this is all aligned, by the way, so I could have put the fixed size and shrink it from the left to the right potentially, and then center align them so everything is 100% center aligned. Of course, the images will be nice to change, and I'm thinking, so we have accessories and sale here. Let's grab them and move them away. Let's repeat this one more time. I want to make sure that the space between here and here is equal. So I don't know what this is actually. Does it say? Let's have a look. It usually says somewhere. Oh yeah, 16. So this will be 16 as well. Yeah, way too tight. Okay, that is way too tight, but in the finished design, I'll make sure that I change the spacing. Now, let's ungroup everything here. And to make this a little bit more interesting, let's put this as accessories first of all. So let's copy the text from here. Paste it, and let's remove this. And for the next one, what I'm thinking of doing is remove this and just make this a lot bigger like so, and this will be our sale, sorry. So this will be our sale, and we can make this a little bit more interesting by putting the sale in the middle, and potentially we could create another container on top here and give it a border radius of 20 like so. Change the color to this red color here and put the opacity down, way down, but so it's still, I don't know, that doesn't look too good to me. Alright, something like this might do. Maybe I need the other red color from here. Let's grab this one. Yeah, that'll look better to me. So let's remove the grid and let's make this a little bit better. I don't know actually, this red doesn't look good to me at all. Maybe we can just wing it quickly. This one looks a little bit better. I don't know. I've got another one here. Okay, this one looks a little bit better. A70404, so looking a little bit better. And let's make this a little bit better now. So we can do, instead of sale, we can make this, we can make this a little bit bigger. And do special offers, and then we can copy this and do up to 40% off. Let's make this a lot smaller, like so, and we'll have to play a little bit with this to make it look nice. I'm definitely not happy with this color. Don't know why. Right, this might be a little bit better, but I think the spacing between the elements is definitely really annoying at the moment. But that's cool. Alright, now that we're done with this, we can definitely change the colors of each section and make it more interesting. But for now, let's just plug in some pictures. So let's say for toys, we can do this one here. For care, we can do this one here. For food, we can grab this here. What else? For accessories, we could potentially grab this one here. We might need to create a little background on this because yeah, we might need to give this one a background color and so on. So what I could do is inside here I can create another shape. I can create another shape, give it a 20 border radius, and then just give it a nice, maybe like darker green than this, and use this as a background. So let's go with, if I go in, yeah, that will look a little bit better, just so the product stands out. But of course we can make this product a little bit smaller as well, just like so. And of course, and yeah, feel free to adjust the other images as well and make them nice. Alright, we're pretty much done with this section now. Let's measure the space from the top. And to the bottom, just so we have equal space. And let's unlock this by clicking the lock at the top and do that. Alright, cool. We're done here. Our next one is special offers, so we might as well drag our heading component and do special offers. Remove this. Align it to the middle. Oh, nothing is aligned to the middle actually. Let's align everything. Okay. So this is aligned to the middle now, and for the special offers, I'm just going to copy exactly the same thing that we did here. So I'm going to copy these products, copy and paste. Make sure that we have a little bit of space. I can't remember how much space it was, so I'm going to have to go back and do that. And I'm happy with this. The products are looking good. We can definitely check in some more interesting images actually. So what is the special office? Let's just check those images. That would be done. And for this one as well, let's just check some images. Like so. Of course the title will probably need to be changed, but that's looking good. Right, the next section should be a quick one, which is the footer. So let's extend our page a little bit, and then let's start. First of all, let's make a little bit of space again from the bottom, like so, and I'm gonna use this. Okay, it's a little bit messy now. Let's move everything first of all. Damn, this is annoying. This is a little bit annoying, we have to move everything, but it is what it is. Then let's go to the top, and I don't know whether this is gonna be extreme, but I'm thinking of using either this color or this color. Alright, let's go for the purple one, just because it might suit the website a little bit better. And then we can make a little bit more space, and I'm going to start the titles from this line here. It doesn't have to be perfect, but first of all, let's select everything and make the font white. Okay, the color white, and let's start with this here. So this is going to be Nunito, but I want to make it white, and let's make it a little bit smaller, so maybe like 32 will do. That looks quite nice to me. And this will be pop-ins, so let's do pop-ins. That's looking cool, and maybe we can just go for 16. I don't know whether we're gonna need a little bit more space between every single link so they're easy to click. And let's do exactly the same thing for company. So what I'm going to do is, you might as well copy the about and this and just paste them in here, and just replace company here and replace this in here. Cool, we just saved tons of time. And then the last one is keep in touch, so let's copy this, and what we can do, grab this, change it, grab this and paste it. But now this is maybe far too extreme. 25 is probably a good one, and let's just do that. I think they're all aligned, I believe, so yep, they're all aligned, that's fine. Maybe we just need to move them a little bit at the top, like so. And I definitely forgot to use the grid. I bought it, so that's why they're all off at the moment. But what we can do is open or trusty grid, and maybe we can start this one from here and this one from here, just like so. Actually, maybe make this, let's start this one from here. Cool. For the next bit, let's grab the same spacing from the top and put it at the bottom here, so we know that we don't need all this space now. We can move the copyright stuff and put it as pop-ins, 16. Let's do the payment methods, which I already have, so I'm gonna drag them. So we just have some random payment methods. I don't know if we're gonna be using them, but these are fairly standard. So let's do that for the demo. Just gonna center line it. Okay. And that's not too bad. Of course, we're gonna have to do this. This is looking okay, I think. Definitely might need to be centered a little bit better. Okay. Now the next bit we can do is keep in touch. This is going to be another input. So I wonder whether to do the borders. Let's have a look. That might work actually. I think that will look quite nice. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the one from the search bar. So let's copy this. In fact, I could have literally used the search bar to do this. Yeah, let's do that. So let's grab the search bar, add in here, and let's just align it like so. And instead of search, we'll do sign up with email. Sign up with email, simple like this. We definitely need a button somewhere. Button could be around here, but let's leave it for now. And for the next bit, we just need a few social network icons. So what I'm gonna do is just grab Twitter. No. Oh, it doesn't have Twitter in here, so let's do Font Awesome should have Twitter. Yep, okay, let's grab this and let's use this Twitter sign. So what I'm gonna do is remove the border, make this a little bit smaller, maybe like so, and we could do this as the primary color, and I think that would look nice. So if we had, we'll potentially have Facebook, Instagram, and so on. So what I'm gonna do is repeat grid and just repeat a few of them around here for now, but you get the point. Maybe they definitely need to be much smaller. and let's change the... Okay, that's looking a little bit better. We might have to add a button for this. We will need to change the icons for the rest of the social media, but let's have a look at what we have so far. Okay, let's start this. So as you can see, the design is looking quite nice and clean. Obviously, we can definitely spend a little bit more time to improve it. I could add arrows for the slider. Definitely could add a slider in here, or we can just display 4 products, whatever, you know. Then categories, that definitely can be improved a little bit. I would love to make some better like marketing materials for this, because it's a little bit boring. And special office is looking good, and then the footer is quite clean. And as you can see, the button, this chat button, is following us everywhere. And I'm gonna wrap it up here because the tutorial went for far too long. As always, I totally forgot to show you how I done the logo. This is going to be a super quick example of how I've done it. I've got the branding colors here that I selected for my layout, and I have the main font and I also have the Nunito font here. As you can see, Nunito extra bold, and this is set to 21 pt at the moment, but that doesn't really matter as it's vector. We can always scale it up and down. And first of all, what I've done is I changed this color to be the primary color, so I can select it, and then I changed the gang to be this one here. And also, depending on what the domain name is, I was thinking I can copy some of the text, like so, move it to the right and do, for example, .shop, or maybe shop with capital letters, and just make this a lot smaller like this to make it look a little bit more interesting, you know. But that's part of it. But in order to make this logo a little bit more interesting, I wanted to put some sort of an icon that I can use. And as you saw on the actual UI design, I had 2 puppies here which look pretty cool. And the way, let me show you the way I done this. I didn't put too much energy into this, but the way I've done it is I went to unsplash.com and I found some suitable images of dogs. Okay, basically this is one of the dogs that I found on unsplash.com, link in the description. And what I've done is I unlocked the layer. Then in Photoshop you can select subject with this quick action, or you can just go with the lasso tool or the brush tool to select the object. So I'm gonna select subject, sorry. And then as you can see, this has selected the dog for me. So what I can do is in another layer, I want to fill this with black. So I have my foreground set to black. I'm gonna turn this around so the background is set to black, and by using Control and backspace, when I click, this will fill the shape with black. And now what I usually do is if I deselect this, I can actually drag this layer into Illustrator. So let's drag that in. It's a little bit big, so let's move it to the side here. And this is, at the moment, this is a JPEG, but what I've done is I use the image trace option in here in Illustrator, and if you click that, this will trace the image for you, and then you can expand it. And then if I double click, I should be able to grab the dog, cut it, let's remove all the stuff that we don't need, and just scale it down. So this is the first one that I done, and it was like this. And of course, I think I retouched it ever so slightly. I fixed some of these parts with the lasso tool, and then smooth it over just so it's not that rough. And then I believe that I reflected this, so transform and then reflect. Okay, make it a lot smaller like so. And I done the same thing for the other dog. I found an image and then use exactly the same method to do it. So let me just copy the other one from here to save time, and here it is, just like so. And this one needs to go a little bit smaller, but as you can see, I didn't put too much effort into it, and it looks fairly decent, I guess. It's not the best, and it looks fairly decent, I guess. And then let's just change the color of this dog, and we're pretty much done. Of course, this could be fixed a little bit better and this could be fixed a little bit better, but that's how I've done the logo. I hope this helps, and thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more videos like this,